for another little walk today, and got construction going on around me and all kinds of stuff. So hopefully you don't get to see me get run over by an asphalt paving machine or something while we're doing this. A couple of quick thoughts. So I grew up, in the church world, and when you grow up around the church world, there's a lot of biases that come in as far as different forms and flavors of Christianity and preaching and teaching and all those kind of things. And I definitely agree with a bias against big name TV evangelist people, that were always kind of pitching their thing, brought a whole lot of energy, worried about getting crowds, excited and sharing things and all that kind of stuff. And, back in the day, there were some really visible people, and they did some, ultimately some bad things, and a lot of us saw that kind of play out on TV. And what was interesting was that as I got older, that bias that I had against kind of that TV evangelist, maybe hype man is the better way to put it, began to really kind of change my mind about some other things too. And so when I started working in more the business world instead of just the church world, I noticed there were a lot of these same things. There were a lot of these people who were really good at getting crowds together and bringing a lot of energy and kind of sales and motivation, those type things. And I realized that same bias really emerged, where I thought, I don't know that these people are really legit. If they're making money off of me by me getting excited and buying in and all that. So I was just as suspicious of them as I had been the TV evangelist. And the reason I say all this is I think a lot of us do the same thing. I think that's unique to me, is that we have a certain type of experience with some people, and then we project that to anyone who looks or feels or acts remotely the same. And what I realized, and in particular I'll bring one name up, and that's Tony Robbins. And so Tony was one that I had kind of seen some infomercials and some other things and all that, and it just felt a whole lot like TV evangelists, like the type of people that I wouldn't trust. But eventually, actually kind of through a side door, through somebody he was doing an event with that I did respect, I actually stopped and listened to what he was saying. And I realized the depth of what he had to offer. And although he brings an energy level and a style that's not really kind of, me, like I'm not the big arena guy getting, 15, 30,000 people fired up. I am the guy that likes to think deeply about why I do things and how I can do them better and how I can learn things in order to teach and to help other people. And that's really kind of his thing too. And so what I want to say first is that I was wrong to make that generalization. And because I made that generalization against him, and not just him, but other people who are those kind of big name, big stage people, man, I missed out on a lot of stuff. It's kind of interesting for me to think where I might be as a leader, as a dad, as a business owner, just all those categories. Like, how far along could I have been if I had just set my biases down and actually listened, and then evaluated their worth based on the content of what they were saying, not necessarily the packaging in which the content came. I'd be a way ahead. And so I think what I want to encourage you in this big thing, instead of it being a 1, 2, 3, 4 teaching type thing, it's just a concept. And that is that sometimes the packaging reminds us of things, and we don't take time to look within the package and see what that person is offering, what their content is. And so I want to encourage you to do that. Just take a little bit of time. And if there's a lot of energy and a lot of buzz about somebody or a particular topic or whatever, even if you kind of pull back from it, maybe open the cover a little bit and see what some of those insights are and what you might be able to take away from that and how you might be able to grow from that. There's a lot of people out there now who are kind of jumping on board and doing online coaching, consulting. I'm running more in those worlds now, so I'm more and more aware of them. And it's interesting how many of them can trace their motivations, their learnings, that kind of thing, back to some of these big name people. Zig Ziglar back in the day on sales, and others. And what they do is they have that content and they're able to bring it into a new context. And so it's worth listening to them and considering them. So that's the main thing I just want to do is I want to encourage you that if you're on a journey, you want to be a better person, you want to be a better business leader, you want to be a better parent, if you're trying to figure out how to do this whole work-life balance or whatever that is, there's people that have gone before you. There's people that have figured things out, good and bad. And so listen and see what you can learn from people. And even if it doesn't come in a package that's necessarily attractive to you or something that you think resonates with you based on kind of their vibe, their energy, there may still be really good content there. If you don't want to watch them on TV, find a book, read it, remove some of that. So that's my encouragement to you today. Hope you all are great. Again, I'm starting up some private Facebook groups. If you want to jump in and have some deeper conversations about kind of how we process the world as human beings and how we can change that processing in order to maybe come out with better results, just send me a message, let me know, and we'll get you in one of those groups and we'll go from there.